Hi guys, this is Sadek from Dublin.com, and in this video, we'll show you how to install the latest ColorOS 15 based on Android 15 onto your Galaxy F22 s 5G. So do keep in mind that it's a port from the OnePlus 11, and therefore it's quite obvious that there are bound to be quite a few bugs and issues in this regard. The fingerprint, the camera, Face ID, NFC and vibration are not working along the expected line. In case of camera, you could use a Gcam or a third-party camera app and they are working. The stock camera is not working. But apart from that, the fingerprint is not working. You could use a swipe to unlock or pattern or pin. In case of Face ID, again you have to use a pattern or pin to unlock. NFC, if you are using, for example, in case of payment, then you will have to make the payment manually. In case of the vibration is also not working. Sometimes it works, but most of the time it's not working. So if you are satisfied with these issues and you are ready to flash the ROM, then please take a backup of all the data on your phone. And then let's get started with this OnePlus 11 port. First off, get hold of the latest Android SDK platform tools from my guide and extract them onto your PC. You may do so anywhere you want. In my case, I have done that in C drive, and these are the files of platform tools. Once you've done the extraction, you will now have to enable USB debugging and OEM unlocking. The debugging is required for ADB command, whereas OEM unlocking is required to unlock the Bluetooth on your phone. So let's now enable both the toggles. For that, go to the settings menu on your phone, then go to about phone and tap on software information. Tap on build number 7 times. This will enable developer options. So go back, go to developer options and enable the toggle next to OEM unlocking as well as USB debugging. You will get a prompt. Tap on OK. You might get one more prompt. Again tap on allow, and with this the debugging is now enabled. Let's verify the same. So go to the address bar of platform tools, type in CMD, hit enter. This will launch the command prompt inside the platform tools directory. If that does not happen, not an issue. Simply copy the path of platform tools, open the CMD from start menu, type in cd space, paste the path of platform tools, hit enter, and you are now inside the platform tools directory. So once that is done, you will now have to type in ADB devices and verify that you are getting an ID. If you're not getting any ID, then you will have to unplug and replug your phone from the PC. Disable and re-enable USB debugging. Tap on revoke USB debugging. Use the official USB cable that came with your phone and use the USB 2.0 port on your PC. So carry out these USB fixes and make sure that you're getting an ID. Once you're getting this ID, your next course of action is to unlock the Bluetooth on your phone. Do know that unlocking will wipe off all the data and it will also trip the knocks. And once the knocks get tripped, you will not be able to use most of the Samsung secure features. Moreover, the knocks is a hardware component in the motherboard. So once it's tripped, there is no going back. So if that's all well and good, then you could refer to my guide and the video and get the job done. In short, boot the phone to the download mode after enabling USB debugging and OEM unlocking. Then long press the volume up key to go to the device unlock mode, and again press the volume up key to unlock the bootloader. Once that is done, your phone will boot to the OS. So you will now have to bypass the vault keeper as well. For that, connect the phone to the Wi-Fi and then make sure that the OEM unlocking is enabled and gray out. So in my case, I have unlocked the bootloader, but I have not yet bypassed the vault keeper. So you could see that the OEM unlocking is missing from my phone. So what I have to do is simply connect the phone to the Wi-Fi. I have already unlocked the bootloader, so that's not an issue. I simply have to connect my phone to the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is this one. Let me now type in the password. This will take just a few seconds. So just give me a second. And now the Wi-Fi password typing is complete. And it's establishing a connection. And once that is done, you have to close the developer options from the backend. Once you have done that, now go to the settings menu, developer options, and now you should see the OEM unlocking over here. So let's wait for a few more seconds and give it one more try. So again, let me go over here, settings, developer options, and now you could see the OEM unlocking is shown here. So I bypassed the vault keeper, and now you have unlocked the bootloader successfully. This was the last step. Once that is done, let's now move ahead with the next step. Now you have to install the recovery file onto your phone. So for that, you will have to download the recovery file and the VBMeta patch file as well after unlocking the bootloader, which we have done. So get hold of the recovery and the patch file from here, then download the Odin tool and extract the Odin tool onto your PC. So let me show you. The Odin tool is somewhat here. This is the Odin tool. Now you have to boot the phone to the download mode. So for that, you could either use the hardworking combination or the ADB command. For now, I'll be using the ADB command because it's quite easy. So type in ADB, reboot, download, hit enter. Your phone should now reboot into the download mode, which will take just a few seconds. So let's wait for that to happen, and after that, you will now launch the Odin tool to flash the files. So launch the Odin tool via the exe file, hit OK in the prompt that appears. Now you could see the phone is being shown in the COM section and as well in the log as well. First off, go to the option tab and uncheck auto reboot. Now click on AP and load the recovery file over here. This is the recovery file loaded. Likewise, in the data slot, load the vmeta patch file, which is this one. Yes, it's this one. Again, I'm repeating, uncheck auto reboot, load the recovery file in the AP slot and the vmeta patch file in the data slot. Once that is done, click on start and the file will now be flashed in a few seconds. Once that is done, you will now have to press and hold the power and the volume down keys for around 7 to 8 seconds until your phone undergoes the reboot. And once it goes a reboot, let go of both the keys and then press and hold the power and the volume up keys. So let me show you what I mean. First off, press and hold the power and the volume down keys and keep on holding both the keys for around 7 to 8 seconds. And as soon as the phone is undergo a restart, let go of the keys and now press and hold the power and the volume up keys until your phone boots up, which might happen around 4 to 5 seconds. So let's wait for that to happen. And now you may let go of these keys as well. So let's wait, and now you may release the keys. And if you have done everything right, your phone will now reboot to the WRP recovery, which will take just a few more seconds. So let's wait for that to happen, and then we will verify the result as well. If in your case your phone is booting to the stock OS or the stock recovery, then the flashing is not done successfully and you have to reflash the recovery via the Odin tool as I have shown you. In my case, you could see I could not access the recovery. So first off, you will have to remove the encryption, and for that, doing a format data is a must, which will wipe off all the data from your phone. So type in format data, yes, hit the blue check mark, and after that you have to do a reboot to recovery to remount the data partition. So we have done a reboot to the recovery, and once that happens, we could then proceed ahead with the next step, so which involves the flashing. So the flashing of the recovery has now been done. We will now close this as well, and now we have to boot our phone to the recovery, which has already been done. Now get hold of the ROM file. There are 3 files in the ROM: the product, the ODM, and the system.img. Get hold of all the 3 files and then transfer this file inside the platform tools directory. As you could see, the files are over here in my case. Apart from that, you also need to download the permissiver gki.zip. Download the zip file and also transfer it inside the platform tools directory. Just give me a second. This is the download, the only permissiver.gki.zip file. So let's transfer it here as well. And now we have all the 4 files inside the platform tools directory. Now what you have to do is, first off, verify if you can access the storage or not. In my case, my phone is shown here, but I cannot access the storage. Not an issue. We will now have to use the adb push command to do a file transfer. As of now, you only have to transfer the system img and the GKI file onto your phone. The ODM and the product file should be left here only. Only flash the system and the GKI file onto your phone. So let's transfer the files. First off, let's transfer the system file. Type in adb push file name system.img space / SD card. The file will now be transferred in the SD card of your phone, and this might take some time because it's quite a heavy file. And similarly, we will then transfer the file, the GKI file as well. So guys, the file is about to be transferred. So okay, if you are also getting this error message, then you first have to do a reboot to the system, and only after that you could use the adb push command. So this might take some time, but it's just for the one-time usage. So go to reboot and choose system. Your phone will now boot to the OS, and once it's booted to the OS, you may once again have to do a reboot to the recovery, and then you may use the adb push command to do the file transfer. And since we had done a format data as well, the first boot up will take up some time. So let's wait for that to happen. To the settings menu, and from here, about phone, software information, tap on build number 7 times. Go back again, go back, developer options, enable the toggle next to USB debugging, and tap on OK. Once that is done, again tap on allow, and the debugging now enabled. Let's now boot to the recovery. So adb reboot recovery, and your phone should not reboot into the WRP recovery. So the issue arises because we were not able to use the USB file transfer method. The simple copy paste did not work, and we had to use the adb push command. But for now, even the adb push failed because we had to first do a reboot to the OS, and only after that you could do a file transfer. So now that we have done a reboot to the OS and now we are back inside the recovery, we could now easily do a file transfer, and this time around you don't even have to use the adb push command because your phone storage might be shown in the PC itself. it should be the case, because now that we have done a reboot to the OS, now I guess our phone should be shown here with the storage. So let me verify that. As you could see, it's now visible here. So now we could do a transfer as well easily. So just copy the system img file and the A-only permissive GKI zip file. Copy both the file and simply paste the file over here. This might take some time, so let's wait for that to happen. So guys, the file has been transferred. Let's verify the same. Both the files, the GKI is over here, and if you type on install image, you could see the system img file is over here as well. So first of all, you have to flash the A-only GKI file. So let's flash that. Select it, swipe to flash. Once that is done, you will now have to flash the system img file. So give it a few seconds for the flashing of the A-only permissive GKI file, and let's wait for that to happen. And then you will flash the system img file, but keep the DTBO and the product file in the platform tools only. So the flashing of the A-only GKI have been done. Now go back and now type on install image, select the system img file and choose the system partition over here. Swipe to flash. The flashing of the system image will now start. Okay, if you are getting the message that size of the image is larger than the target device, it's not a cause of concern. Simply go back, again go back, and again go back, go to reboot and select fast boot. By fast boot, this is the fast boot D mode and not the fast boot mode, because fast boot stands for bootloader and the fast boot D is shown as fast boot. So our phone will now boot to the fast boot D mode, and since we have a recovery installed, the UI will be shown of that recovery. It's not a cause of concern. So let me show you what I mean. So as soon as the phone boot to the fast boot D mode, the screen will be from the recovery only, because we have a recovery installed, but in fact we will be inside the fast boot D mode only. And then we will flash all the files in the fast boot D. So we are now inside the fast boot D mode, and earlier I had told you to flash the product and the DTBO file from the fast boot D, but now it seems we have to flash the system img file as well from the fast boot D mode, because the TWRP recovery is not working and it's giving up the size of image is larger than the target device. So it seems that the recovery is not able to flash any of the files. So now we have to take the help of the fastboot command. So once you are inside the fastboot D mode, now type in the command first of fastboot flash partition name system file name system.img and hit enter, and the file will now start flashing on your phone, and this might take a little bit longer, so let's wait for that to complete. Okay guys, as you could see, the system file has been broken down into 27 parts, so it's quite a large file. That is why the recovery was not able to flash the file. In case of the fastboot command, it's doing a resizing of the file so that the file could easily be flashed, and that is the benefit of using the fastboot command instead of the recovery. So that's why you should always use a fastboot command in case the recovery is not working. You could see it's easily doing a resizing of the file, and then it's 27 parts. Each of the parts will now be flashed onto your phone. So let's wait for that to happen. So guys, the system file is now being flashed. Let's now flash the rest of the file, which is the fastboot flash product.img, and hit enter. The product file should now be flashed onto our phone, and it's only one part and it's flashed. Finally, let's flash the ODM. So fastboot flash odm.img, and it's now flashed as well. You could keep a track of all the command from a guide as well. So once that is done, you will now have to do a format data both from the fastboot as well as from the recovery. First off, let's do a format data from the fastboot. So type in fastboot space -w. Once that is done, now type in fastboot reboot recovery, and your phone should now reboot to the TWRP recovery, and then you will have to do a format data from there as well. If you don't do a formatting from the recovery, then you will end up in a Android rescue party trigger mode, as you could see in the screenshot, the Android rescue party trigger. So that is why you will have to do a formatting from the recovery as well. And let's wait for the phone to the boot to the recovery, and then we will do a formatting from there. So we are now inside the recovery. Now just go to wipe format data, type in yes, hit the blue check mark. The formatting is now complete. Once that is done, you may now simply go to reboot and select system, and your phone will now boot to the OS. So just to recall what all we have done till now. Okay, before that, do keep in mind that the first boot up will take up some time. That is completely normal. So let's wait for the boot logo and the boot animation to appear, which signifies that the flashing has been done successfully. In the meantime, let me show you. So first and foremost, you will have to flash the recovery file onto your phone, then flash the A-only permissive GKI zip file, then flash all the three files, the system img, the product and the ODM via the forward command, because the recovery is not able to flash the file. If you try to flash the file via the recovery, then you will get the size of image is larger than the target device. So that is why you have to use the fastboot command to flash all the 3 files, then do a formatting from the fastboot command, finally do a formatting from the recovery as well, and then you may reboot to the OS. And the benefit of using the fastboot command is that it will automatically do a resizing of the file. As you could see, it has resized the file so that the file now fits in the system directory of our phone. Anyways, with that said, let's wait for the boot logo or the boot animation to appear. As you could see, the ColorOS boot animation is now here. So the flashing has been done successfully, and we have flashed the ColorOS from the OnePlus 11. So it's a newer phone only, and the boot up should now be done in a few more seconds. So let's wait for that to happen. So guys, the ROM is booted to the OS, but as you could see, we cannot do anything whatsoever with this ROM as of now in the current state, because the setup screen is currently bugged and it's not working along the expected line. So you have to use these two ADB shell command to bypass the setup screen. But as of now, the USB debugging will be turned off on your phone, and you cannot re-enable it because you cannot access the OS. So what to do? Well, it's quite easy. Simply unplug your phone and then replug it back in. Once that is done, the debugging should now be enabled and you will now be able to use the ADB command without any issue. That's quite a handy workaround. So now once again, launch the CMD window inside the platform tools directory, and once that is done, simply use the following 2 commands. The first is this one. So copy the command and paste it in the CMD window. Let me open a new CMD window from here. So just give me a second. Let's type in CMD or copy the path of platform tools, and now open the CMD from here. CD space, paste the path, and we are now inside the platform tools. So first off, make sure that you have unplug and replug your phone to the PC. This will enable developer options, USB debugging to be precise. And once that is done, first off, type in the first command, hit enter, and now type in the second command. You could see that the commands are being now typed in without any issue. As you could see, both the commands have been executed. And once that is done, you should have bypassed the OS. As you could see, we have bypassed the setup screen, and now we are inside the OS. And now the only thing remaining is that we are still in the Chinese language, as you could see. So we have to change the language to English. This will be somewhat a difficult task, but okay, this is the split screen. The notification and QoS type will be separately, and over here both of them will be on the same. So let's use the split one. That is understandable, but the settings menu, this is not understandable, but I have somewhat knowledge of this one, so I guess it's in the settings menu. If you search for the language over here, that's quite an obvious choice. First of, okay, let me type in normally language, and we have 2 options. This is nothing. The second one, okay, it's for the caption in the video. It's just for the caption only and not the device language. Okay, this will also not help us. Not a problem. Let me see what else can I do. So I have some knowledge. I have used this in the past. I guess it's in the settings menu. It's the 4th last option. So open that, and I guess it's the 3rd one, which is this one. Now open this one and tap on the blue one, which is the edit option. Okay, now we have got it. Now tap on the English button, the plus sign next to English, and tap on the red icon, and English has now been added, and English now is our main language, the default language, as you could see, and it's at the top. You could simply drag and drop at the bottom of the top. We want it at the top. Once that is done, simply go back, and we are now with the English language, and it's the latest ColorOS 15 based on Android 15. This is the tools folder, the latest based on Android 15. This is the sidebar, I suppose. Smart sidebar, agree and continue. You may add the apps from here. Choose the file manager app, the recent files, settings menu, and all such apps from here. Do not hide. Choose floating bar hide, always visible. Move along the left and right. Auto hide. So let me choose auto hide. I want to get it hide after a certain time. As you could see, it's now hidden if not used. And from here you will get the notification. From here you will get the QoS files. I have done the segregation at the initial phase only. You may add more tweaks from here, the more QoS files from here, and go to this option and customize the QoS files from here. Then apart from that, let's access the settings menu, and if you're online, you may go to this tab and get hold of all the new ColorOS 15 features. Then in the wallpaper and style, what all is there, agree and continue. So these are the various wallpapers and styles. So just for your notice, we are using the OnePlus 11 port. So let's tap on apply and turn on AOD. And if we now lock the screen and unlock it, it's come into the play. Likewise, you have some my themes. So these are the various themes that you could choose from. Currently I'm using this one, then AOD, the classic and the seamless one, the recent. Okay, you could also personalize the AOD from here and choose any one of these, or choose the system one, the carbon footprint. It has a couple of footprints over here. Let's choose this one and let me hit the up. Okay, this one, hit the apply button and it's visible, but it's very light in color over here. Let me see. Okay, so I guess it might be a UI bug which will be rectified in the next build, but as you could see, the AOD is there, but the lightning is very less, and if we turn it off, it will skip the lightning. So I guess this is an issue which needs to be rectified. If you choose a clock only, let me see whether it works or not. There are quite a lot of clock style that you could choose from. Let's go with this one, and now let me see what happened this time around. So again, the same issue, the AOD lightning is very less, as you could see in the video as well. Anyways, that's not a major cause of concern for now. And what else is there? The font style, only a couple of fonts are there, the rest you have to get hold of from the theme store. Icon pack, I guess only one single icon pack will be there. Okay, these are the various icon shapes. Radiance, this looks nice. Shadow, material, pebble. Let me go with the radiance one. Art plus icons. For third party icons, you must increase the size of them as well. Show or hide the app names. Tap on apply and they are now implemented. And as you could see, the apps now. Then apart from that, colors in the UI, so you may change the color based on the major color of the wallpaper which you could choose from here. Since this is the wallpaper, it will automatically take the most important or the most dominant color from the wallpaper, and then you could choose the theme from here, or you could also change the theme from here as well and choose it accordingly. Let's go with classy, this classy one, and you could see the changes across all the buttons as well. Anyways, anyone will do for now. Edge lightning, so whenever you get a notification, the edges will light up depending on the color which you have chosen. The golden one looks nice, so let's stick with that. And next up we have the home screen and the lock screen. The home screen size, standard or drawer. Okay, currently it's standard. If you choose a with drawer, then you could do a swipe up from the home screen and you could access the apps. Just give me a second. Home screen with drawer, and I don't. Okay, I have to put the apply as well. Arrangement of icons in the home screen, not an issue. Let's tap on switch apply, and as you could see, this is the this one, the swipe up to access all the apps. And apart from that, the home screen layout, 4x5, 5x5, 5x6. Let's go with 5x5. This is the one which I use mostly. Icon pull down gestures. So swipe upward on the left or right hand side of the screen to pull down app icons. Okay, I have to practice this, I suppose. Okay, so this is what it was talking about. And apart from that, double tap to lock on the home screen to lock the screen that is working. Double tap to wake. It will take you to the AOD, and then you have to unlock the phone manually once. And quick glance, left part of the home screen. Reminders, trending news, you could enable that. Let's keep it turned off. Advanced material, blur effect to the folders and all. And as you could see, the blur effect has been added to the folders and the app drawer as well. If you turn it off, it's gone now. As you could see from the folder icon, it's not transparent any longer. Then app animation speed, standard, enhance. Let me see what is the difference. This is the new animation style. As you could see, the enhanced style. Let's go back and see what else is there. Lock screen magazine, so this might require internet as well. Swipe left for next image. Lock screen carousel wallpapers. Lock screen layout might change after that, not an issue. So as you could see, the wallpaper has changed, and you could also change it from here by doing a swipe, but you might require online internet connection to change more wallpapers. Currently I have a few ones only. Raise to wake, double tap to turn off or on the lock screen. Double tap to lock, double tap to wake. Double tap to wake is only taking us to the AOD screen and not any further. Swipe down on the home screen to access the notification quick setting. Let me see. Yeah, it's quite obvious. It's only one option is there. App animation speed, this we have already check marked. Manage apps, you could carry out the required tweaks in the recent task manager. You could show or hide these apps if required. Display and brightness, this is the dark mode for this. Let's keep it that for now, for quite some time. Video color boost, image sharpener, screen resolution, refresh rate is also set to standard or high. There is no specific 60, 120 or 90 Hz. So high will lead to additional battery drainage but will give you more smoother UI experience, so choose accordingly. Then notification and quick settings, you may choose the location styles of notification. Status bar, you may show or hide these icons if required. Notification icons, show or hide the icons by numbers, don't show the app icons. Battery style, these are the various icons in the, as you could see, it's now changed. Loop, let's keep the vertical, this one is nice. You may show or hide the battery percentage as well in the status bar. Quick settings, you may this I have shown you already how you could change the classic and split. In the classic you get both the QoS tiles and the notification in one section, whereas in split you will get on the left hand side you will get the notification, on the right you will get the QoS tiles. Then what Odd has to offer, okay, notification history option is also there. That is quite a handy option. Let's keep it enabled. We could keep a track of all the notifications that we appear in the QoS tiles. Then notification and quick settings, this is done and dusted. In the battery section, what all is there, the battery health is shown here as well. Maximum 100% capacity, it's quite great to see. And you may install new updates from here, or if you want you may download the update from the site and then manually flash it as well via the recovery if required. As of now there is no, as you could see, it's the ColorOS 15 based on Android 15 build. And that's just about it. It's about device Galaxy F22s 5G running the ColorOS 15. Okay guys, just one more thing, let's have a look at the home settings as well. So long press here, and first off we have the widgets. So agree on it, and these are the various widgets that you could add from onto your home screen. In all contacts, clock, let's say clock, okay, there's only one clock. If you want you could add it over here, it's added. Likewise in the wallpapers, as you could see there are quite a lot of wallpapers. These are the classic wallpapers, these are the live wallpapers. For example, if I choose this one and hit the apply button in the home screen, you could match the lock screen as well. Color is okay, the color is not looking nice. How to remove the color, I don't, let me do the cancel first. Discard, and then apply home screen and apply. That's it, I don't want any color whatsoever. And once it's applied, as you could see, it's just a minor change when you unlock the phone and not anything major as such. Apart from that, you also have the ColorOS 15 wallpaper. These are the 4 wallpapers. The Sublime Granule wallpaper over here, these 4 are those wallpapers. These are the 4 ones. And apart from that, Blossoms, Calm, Light and Shadow, there are quite a lot of wallpapers that you could choose from, as you could see over here. So apart from that, what else is there? So we have the icons, which we have seen already in the previous section. Then the layout of the home screen and the app drawer 5x5, which we have chosen. You could also increase its size and send the app icons, some of the icons in the next page or below. If you change it below, transfer it below as well, and then try to increase. So currently we don't have any, as you could see, it's now minimized, and you could further increase the size and further increase it, but as of now let's keep it in the default size. This is sufficient. You will also have to change the layout to further increase the size of the app drawer. Let's say 5x6, and then you may change it. Apart from that, the transitions for between the two home screens, let's say cube, and you could see the transitions. This I used to do with the Nova launcher in earlier times. It's quite great to see we still have some of these animations remaining. Flip, roll, and this is the default one. Let's go with the roll one only and hit the apply button. In the more settings, we have the same old which we have seen already in the previous sections. So guys, that's just about it. So guys, on that note, I round off this video. If you have any query with regard to any of the steps, do let me know in the comment section, and thanks a lot for watching.